Hi and welcome to our presentation. We are Perro, Caliente. We are Sarah, Mirte, Dimf and Wislet, and we came up with the venue Perro Caliente. This will be a venue that is spicy and modern, but it will bring people together. We are mostly focusing on the community, but we also want to organize events for the young adults. And for these events, we will focus mostly on the dance and pop music. We created a mood board for our venue. As you can see, we would like the red and yellow as our main corporate identity colors. In the weekends, we would like to organize the dance parties for the young adults, but during the week, we would like a venue that will create a calm space where people can come together, grab a drink, play a game, or even study together.
Our vision is to become an exceptional powerhouse and to be vastly valuable to the local economy and social cohesion in the region. And our strategy is to be, within a year, we will create a community-focused image on regional scale, starting local and eventually expanding and making Perro Caliente a powerhouse. Here we can see our year overview. On the left side is the profit per quarter, the expected amount and the actual amount. What we see is that in the first two quarters we were a little bit lost about the expected and the actual amount of profit. As in quarter 3 and 4 we were very close. Furthermore, we see that we make more profit from quarter 2 and so on. Then on the right side we have our KPIs. Most of our KPIs were stable during the year. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicators. And the only one that went down during the year is the KPI for community image. But when you compare the two graphs together, it's funny to see that when we start to make more profit, our KPI for community image goes down. Furthermore, our KPI for staff satisfaction was low. You can see this in the graph because our line for KPI for staff satisfaction does not grow as fast as for financial performance and prediction accuracy.
In the first quarter, we tried to focus on our most important KPIs, that is the key performance indicator based on a type of performance measurement. We focused mostly on financial performance with 35%, 25% on the community image and 25% on prediction accuracy. We first started to fill in the financial forecast. We focused on the community, so we organized community days on a regular basis. Our target group are the young adults, and so that's why we organized a lot of clubs/house events, and we used social media as a marketing tool. With the events so-called others, we try to create more diversity with the different genres to expand our target group. Because of this, we scored high on the KPI on the community image, namely 125. This is actually a forecast. This actually in the forecast in the financial document shows that we sold more tickets and more F&B. F&B means food and beverage than we previously predicted. This means the revenue increased, but also the increase of cost of sales. The forecast shows that the actual occupancy rate was 62.8%, while the predicted was 61.5%. This shows us that we can attract more visitors than we actually did. This is because we choose to do smaller events, even though there were more visitors than we previously expected. We still had enough volunteers. In effect, we had too much concerning hospitality. This is why the KPI rate of satisfaction is 105. And the prediction accuracy is due to the same reason very high as well. The ratio margin shows us that we were able to take more risk, but we didn't because this was our first event. Our financial forecast shows that we had more profit than we thought. Profit margin is very low because we expected 828, but we sold more tickets and more food and beverage than we expected, so our revenue increased. Due to the fact that we generated much profit, we had the excellent score on the financial performance KPI for quarter 2. We expect 6% more visitors on dance events because this is planned more staff for the next period of time.
The goal for quarter 2 was to improve the accuracy prediction. We noticed in quarter 1 that the biggest difference in the financial forecast was in the cost of sales. We counted on a cost of sales of 18,900 euros, where actually it was 31,000 euros and 900. This caused a big difference in our turnover period, which is the period of time you sell your goods in. In the second quarter, we also counted on a bigger audience and therefore ordered more food and beverage. The revenue went up and came closer to the actual amount of revenue. The result was a higher prediction accuracy, and our financial performance went up as well. However, the positive result of our action, our community image decreased by 35, which means that our reputation as a venue went down. The locals were less happy with us. At this point, it was not our priority to change the community image. We decided to focus on making more profit in order to grow as a venue. This is why our program costs were more than last quarter. Also, we decided to implement a training in order to gain more bar revenue. In quarter 2, we saw that the amount of visitors went up, but the ticket sale revenue went down. This means that there were more people who visit the smaller events. In order to increase the revenue, we have to sell more drinks or focus on smaller events because more people are attracted to them. When looking at the difference between the actual ratios and our forecast ratios, we can see that there are very little difference. The only big difference is in our profit margin, which we focus to improve next quarter. The profit margin stands for how liquid a company is. If the profit margin is very high, it means that they can spend easily a little bit more money without taking the rest that they won't make profit.
In the third quarter, we had suffered some damages due to heavy rain and we were unable to host any events for 2 weeks. Luckily, because of our good insurance, we did not have any additional costs since everything was covered by the insurance. For this reason, instead of the usual 20 events, we could only host 15 events. But because we had to pause all events for 2 weeks, the occupancy rate was lower than usual. But we did sell more tickets than predicted. Regarding the inventory, we had purchased too much. We had some left, but this caused less costs for quarter 4. Because of the increase in ticket sales, we reached a higher profit than initially expected. We reached a total of 32 euros and 51 cents of revenue per visitor, which was the highest of all the quarters. All of these factors initiated that we needed to change several details for the fourth quarter, our last quarter. We wanted to focus more on the community since the KPI for the community image had dropped significantly since quarter 1. The reason for this was probably the high prices for the community events and the fact that they were not very local. So we adjusted the pricing and distance for all the community events to make sure we could improve our community percentage. The aim here was to get the community image up to 75% in the next quarter, which we unfortunately did not reach. This was also the only number which was dropping and not increasing, especially in the financial aspect. This was important to us since we had set 35% for the financial performance KPI. This increase was caused by the fact that we made a profit, which was the case each quarter. However, the staff satisfaction did not increase much each quarter, but it eventually did not matter as much since this was not a priority. We only set 15% for staff satisfaction. The most important aspect was that the percentage did not ever drop. Overall, the third quarter did go very well generally, but we definitely started to realize in this quarter that our community events were not as successful as we had initially predicted and really wanted to focus on improving these numbers. I think our main focus was usually on making a profit, and we might have neglected other aspects because of this.
For quarter 4, we assume that the net profit will be 6,476 euros because we expected that there will be 8,800 visitors due to the fact that in the previous quarter we had more visitors than we expected. Our goal is to receive more net profit than the previous quarter. We are allowed to add 5 more events and we decided that 4 of them will have no entry price. This is motivating the visitors to spend more on the event itself. We also want to increase the community image. And we decided to add more volunteers to every part because we are adding a training for the volunteers, and this will result in more visitors. In quarter 4, the financial performance surpassed the forecast. We estimated that the revenue will be 260,664 euros. However, the actual revenue was 3,979 euros higher than that. Moreover, there were more visitors and they spent more on food and beverage, so the average turnover period was 44.8 days instead of 45.5 days. Additionally, the ratio margin was 3.49% instead of 2.48%. This means that we indeed received more net profit. And there were 196 visitors more than we expected. So the occupancy rate was 69.2%, so the objectives are reached. The revenue per visitors was 29.34 euros. This is only a fragment less than the previous quarter. However, there were more visitors, so this means more revenue, and this is why our financial performance scored 202. If we're looking back at the accuracy of the required stuff, it's noticeable that the accuracy was 100% on every part. Combining with we outperformed almost every expected amount of money generating made the prediction accuracy rise to 147. To continue on the fact that the accuracy was 100% right for the volunteers, this would be translating that there were enough volunteers for every full-time equivalent. Nobody was overworked, nobody got bored. This is why the staff satisfaction is also relatively high. It has some amount of 120. We realized that the community satisfaction depends on how expensive the tickets are. Even though we arranged 4 events where there were no entry costs, we still had 10 events where the entry price was 12 euros. That is the most valuable reason why we scored so low on the community satisfaction, because it was only 44, which is even lower than the previous quarter.
For the next management team, we would have a couple of recommendations. Firstly, we would advise to experiment a bit with the community image KPI, since this is definitely something we neglected to do, and doing it would definitely improve the KPI numbers. Also, be brave and take risks. Our team managed to obtain good numbers in the first quarter, and therefore we were playing it safe to make sure we wouldn't make any loss. Taking risks can be a good thing at times. And lastly, starting with defining your vision and strategy from the beginning is very important. We defined these at a later point in time and realized it should have been done first, so taking this step before beginning the year is crucial. Well, thank you so much for your attention.